Have you ever stopped to think about why, no matter how hard you work or how much you earn, you always seem to be just one paycheck away from financial disaster? Why the money never seems to stick, and why the global financial system seems designed to keep you poor? You're not alone in this feeling. It's a sense of financial insecurity that's shared by millions of people around the world. From the single mother working 2 jobs just to put food on the table, to the college graduate struggling to pay off student loans, to the retiree living on a fixed income and worried about outliving their savings. For example, think about the person who's barely scraping by, living in a small apartment, and yet still finding themselves deep in debt, with high interest rates on their credit cards and loans that seem to never end. Or the individual who's working multiple jobs just to make ends meet, only to have their wages stagnate while the cost of living continues to rise. Or the family who's trying to save for their kids' education, but finding it impossible to do so due to the ever-increasing costs of healthcare, housing, and other necessities. These are just a few examples of how the global financial system can seem stacked against us. And it's a problem that's not just limited to individuals, but also affects entire communities and societies. As the wealth gap continues to grow and the middle class continues to shrink, it's clear that something is fundamentally wrong with the system. And it's not just a matter of individual failure or a lack of personal responsibility, but rather a result of a complex web of factors that are designed to keep us in debt and poverty. The global financial system is a complex and multifaceted beast, with many different players and stakeholders, from governments and corporations to banks and financial institutions. And it's a system that's driven by a desire for profit and growth, rather than a desire to serve the needs of people and communities. At its core, the problem is one of inequality and unfairness, as those who are already wealthy and powerful use their resources and influence to further enrich themselves, while those who are struggling to get by are left with limited options and opportunities. And it's a problem that's been exacerbated by the rise of globalization and the increasing power of multinational corporations, which are able to move money and resources around the world with ease, while avoiding taxes and regulations, and exploiting cheap labor and natural resources. The result is a system that's rigged against the average person, where the odds are stacked against us, and where it's difficult to get ahead, no matter how hard we work or how much we earn. One of the main reasons for this is the way that money is created and distributed, as most money is created by banks when they make loans, rather than by governments. And this means that those who are already wealthy and have access to credit are able to accumulate more wealth and power, while those who are struggling to get by are left with limited access to credit and financial resources, and are forced to rely on expensive and predatory financial services, such as payday loans and check cashing stores. This is a system that's designed to keep people in debt, rather than to help them achieve financial stability and security. And it's a system that's perpetuated by the myth that anyone can get rich if they just work hard enough, and that poverty is a result of personal failure, rather than a result of systemic inequality and unfairness. Another reason for the problem is the way that taxes are structured, as the wealthy are often able to avoid paying their fair share of taxes through the use of loopholes and tax havens, while the average person is left to pick up the tab. And this means that the government is unable to fund important public services and infrastructure, such as healthcare, education, and transportation, which are essential for creating a fair and prosperous society. This is a system that's designed to benefit the wealthy and powerful, rather than the average person. And it's a system that's perpetuated by the influence of money in politics, and the ability of corporations and special interest groups to lobby for their interests and shape public policy. The solution to this problem is not an easy one, as it will require a fundamental transformation of the global financial system, and a shift in values and priorities from a focus on profit and growth to a focus on people and the planet. And it will require a willingness to challenge the power and influence of corporations and the wealthy, and to create a more just and equitable society, where everyone has access to the resources and opportunities they need to thrive. This will require a range of different strategies and policies, from progressive taxation and wealth redistribution, to regulation of corporations and financial institutions, and the creation of public banks and financial services that serve the needs of people and communities, rather than just the wealthy and powerful. It will also require a change in the way that we think about money and wealth, and a recognition that true prosperity and happiness are not just about accumulating riches, but about living a meaningful and fulfilling life, and contributing to the well-being of others and the planet. And it will require a sense of solidarity and collective action, as we work together to create a better world for all, rather than just a privileged few. The struggle for a more just and equitable financial system is a long-term one, and it will require patience, persistence, and courage. But it's a struggle that's essential for creating a world that's truly fair and prosperous for all. In the end, it's up to each of us to decide what kind of world we want to create, and what kind of financial system we want to have. One that serves the needs of people and the planet, or one that just serves the interests of the wealthy and powerful. And it's a decision that will require us to think critically and challenge the status quo, and to work together to create a brighter future for all. The question is, what will you do? Will you continue to accept a system that's designed to keep you poor? Or will you join the struggle for a more just and equitable world? The choice is yours.